pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Knudsen?
Here.
District 1, Morset?
Here.
District 2, Pam Brokaw? Here. District 3, Lori Bernard is excused. District 4, Lee Weiland?
Here.
District 5, Scott O'Malley?
Here.
District 6, Alan Burchell?
Here.
Thank you. Okay, the order of business, this is our organizational meeting. There's agendas that are out, and the first thing is to administer the oath of office for the newly elected officers.
You want to move these two items up?
Oh, yes. We suggested making a change in the order. If there's no objection, I'm going to ask to move items 12 and 13 up, and we'll do those after number 7, between 7 and 8. Any objection to that? Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay. We'll just go up here by the flags, and I'll have you repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I, Dean R. Knudsen,
I, Dean Knudsen,
having been elected as mayor for the city of Hudson, Wisconsin,
having been elected as mayor for the city of Hudson, Wisconsin,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Okay, now I'll have Pam Brokaw and Lee Weiland join me.
Recite in unison.
I'm going to have you recite in unison your own version of the oath of office. Raise your right hand.
I, Lee Wiley, having elected as Alderman District 4 for the city of Hudson, Wisconsin, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of Wisconsin, and faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sue?
Judge Garrity.
I, Susan S. Gary,
Having been elected as municipal judge
having been elected as municipal judge
for the city of Hudson, Wisconsin,
for the city of Hudson, Wisconsin,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, next we're going to have Chief Jensen come up and turn the floor over to Marty. He's got a couple of promotions to swear in some new officers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like Officer Jason Munich to come forward with his wife, take the oath. Thank you. Everybody.
Okay.
Here we go.
You got your Bibles?
Yeah, here we go.
You ready?
I am ready.
I, Jason Munich,
I, Jason Munich,
have been appointed as a sergeant for the police department
have been appointed as a sergeant by the Police Department
of the City of Hudson, Wisconsin,
of the City of Hudson, Wisconsin,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you very much.
You gonna be able to put those on? Get away. Get away. Points up. Points up. You should have been practicing at home.
You need to have little seminars on that.
Here we go. Put the other one on. Here we go. Then you can just clasp them. Pressure's on. There you go.
Looks great.
Oh, that's upside down. She's not nervous. All right. There you go. Thanks. That's good. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, Officer Bradley Kuzmerik, come on up. And his wife.
I, Bradley Kuzmerik, have been appointed as a sergeant for the City of Hudson, for the Police Department for the City of Hudson, Wisconsin.
For the Police Department for the City of Hudson, Wisconsin.
Swear that I will support
The
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
And the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin.
and faithfully and impartially
And will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
She doing it right?
Yeah, they're upright.
I practiced.
There you go. They don't have to be all the way to the end. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you very much. All right.
Why
Thank
don't you
Mr. Mayor.
tell a little bit about what this does as far as bringing the sergeants up to full strength?
Well, what this does now is we've been short 2 sergeants since it would have been June of last year. We've been running with 1 patrol sergeant on the day shift and then 1 patrol sergeant on nights. We haven't had a detective sergeant. With the promotion of Brad and Jason, we'll now be at full strength on patrol. Have 3 patrol sergeants, 1 in the day, 1 late afternoon, 1 probably more of a night officer, a night sergeant. Eric Atkinson, who was the acting chief for a while, interim chief, is now going to be our detective sergeant. So we're finally up to full strength. And on next Monday night, I will be bringing you the 2 new officers that will be replacing these officers on the street, and they'll be sworn in too, and they'll begin their duties on the 22nd. So thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Purpose of this meeting is to allow the mayor to appoint individuals to the various committees, boards, and commissions. Thank you. And I've passed out a roster of appointments that's on the table in front of you. The next item of business will be number 6, President of the Council. The floor is open to nominations for President of the Council. This is a position where you'll act as acting mayor in the absence of the mayor.
I would like to nominate Lee Weiland as president.
Lee Weiland has been nominated. Is there a second? Need a second?
No, we
don't
do not
need
need
a
a
second for that.
Let's proceed.
Are there any other nominations?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Randy Morissette.
Randy Morissette has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? Any others?
Moved and closed the nominations.
It's been moved to close nominations. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion before we close? All in favor of the motion to close, say aye.
Aye.
Nominations are closed. The nominator making the first nomination can speak to why your nominee is your preference.
Lee is experienced in this position, having been our president for the past year. I served as president for 5 years, and I'm cognizant of the duties that are attending to that position. I think Lee's discharged them in an excellent manner. He's responsible, and he thinks everything through thoroughly. I think that's what's needed. He handles meetings well when the mayor is not present. He's had the opportunity to do that, and I think he should continue in his capacity as president of the council.
Thanks, Scott.
The nominator for Mr. Morissette.
Yes, Mr. Morissette has been in the council for 4 years, maybe 4.5, and I think it's a position that should be rotated, and that's why I nominated Randy.
Okay. Before we vote, let me point out that Catherine told me today that the way the rules for this go, it says on your sheet here that the council elects after the mayor receives nominations. There's a normal majority, but in this case, our city statute supersedes the state, and it says that the vote needs to be the majority of the entire council. So even though we have an absence, a majority of the entire council here means 4 votes. Any other discussion before we vote?
So if there isn't 4 votes, we delay it until Lori returns?
If there isn't 4 votes, it'll need to be delayed until she returns.
Okay.
That's my understanding. Unless
Unless you have
you
4
want
votes.
to invoke whatever the suspend the rules in the code, 2316, to suspend the rules. That'll take a 2/3 vote here tonight to suspend the rules, that we don't use our normal rule that says we take a majority of the entire council. It's a little bit of an unusual circumstance. Those are your options. This vote is really amongst the council members themselves, and so you can handle it however you'd like to handle it. But
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to suggest that we wait until we have Lori here, because the president of the council is the president of every member of the council, and I think all members should be here.
was that a motion?
I will so move.
Was it a motion to postpone until the next council meeting?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Uh-huh. Is there a second?
I'll second that. So I think that I agree with Scott's opinion that she should have the opportunity to decide. She'd kind of be the deciding vote, so I think that
Is a motion,
makes sense to have them all here.
debatable?
You can have discussion.
Okay. Any discussion on that? All right. All in favor of postponing the election of the council president until next council meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Say nay. We'll postpone it. Item number 7, Plan Commission. On this one, the council elects one alderperson for a 1-year term. This requires a 2/3 council vote, and that's 2/3 of those present here. That means that'll take 4 out of 5.
I would like
Tonight.
to nominate Alan Burchell to continue on the Plan Commission.
Second.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Would you like to close nominations?
So
Okay.
moved.
Second.
Second. Favor of closing? I'll say aye.
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 Opposed? All right. One nominee. I think that means you're nominated, Alan. Congratulations. Alan will be on the Plan Commission again. Standing committees. I've got a sheet in front of you. The sheet starts off with Finance Committee. As mayor, I'll serve as chairman of the Finance Committee, and I appoint Alan Burchell, Lee Weiland, and Lori Bernard to serve on the Finance Committee. For Public Works, And you can see, I guess public safety's next. Lee Weiland, Chairman, Randy Morissette, and Lori Bernard. Public Works Committee, Scott O'Malley, Chairman, Alan Burchell, and Pam Brokaw. Next thing will be the voting committees, where each council member serves as liaison to one of the other committees. Community Access Board, Pam Brokaw. St. Croix EMS Commission, Randy Morissette. Hudson Area Joint Library Board, Scott O'Malley. Park Board, Lee Weiland. Joint Fire Board, Lori Bernard. And then we have some liaison positions. You serve on these as a non-voting member, liaison only, but we'd like you to go and be our representative at this body. In each case, for the school board, Pam Brokaw. The Tourism Bureau, Alan Burchell. And the Public Utility Commission, Randy Morissette. I think this is where we're going to move the park board up. Park board is, for the park board, I'm nominating Paul Rademacher to a 5-year term as a citizen representative on the park board. Paul has served on the park board as a council representative there, and I'm nominating him to serve the full 3-year term as a citizen. I might have misspoken if I said 5. This takes council confirmation. Do you want to do these one at a time, or should we go through them and you do them as a group? That's your pleasure. Any objection? Group them up. Okay. Plan Commission, 1 citizen for a 3-year term and 1 citizen for a remainder of the term. Fred Jorg has been serving on the Plan Commission, has been doing a good job, and I'm appointing him to another 3-year term. I believe this might be his 3rd term there. There is an opening that was created by the resignation of, or the moving to North Hudson of Bob Bieragel. And Bob has served on the Plan Commission, been a very strong member, and we hate to lose him, but unfortunately he's built a home and moved to North Hudson, and so that's created a vacancy on the Plan Commission. The term will run from now until this time next year, and I am appointing David Sellison to serve on the Plan Commission. Let's see, are there any others that need council confirmation?
Mm-hmm. That park board one needs confirmation.
Park Board and the 2
And
Plan
the-
Commission.
Mm-hmm.
It's on
Board
the
of Zoning
agenda. It says
Appeals.
Zoning Board of Appeals.
Okay. All right, Zoning Board of Appeals. 1 citizen for a 3-year term and 1 alternate for a 3-year term. For the citizen on the Zoning Board of Appeals, I appoint Gordon Kennard, and I've asked Gordon to serve as chairman of the Board of Zoning Appeals. He'll be taking Peter Post's place. Peter's been serving there. Peter's recently elected to the county board, and so I've asked Peter to move into the first alternate position, citizen position as first alternate. Let's see. I think those are the group that requires council confirmation. Do I have a motion for confirmation?
Mr. Mayor, just a
Yes.
point of clarification. Is
Yes.
the park board a 5-year term or a 3-year term? On the agenda, it says 5, and then on the agenda that we have, the organizational meeting, it says it's a 3-year term.
Good question, and I'm not sure I know the answer for certain.
Usually it's 5, I think, isn't it?
I believe it is. I think police and fire and park are 5 years.
But I'm not sure.
We'll find out.
Okay.
I think plan is a 3-year, and police and fire and park might be 5 years.
5-year term.
So let's make the correction on your sheet. The agenda is correct, the official published agenda that talked about a
Okay.
5-year term.
Okay.
Okay, so I ask your
So moved.
confirmation, and there's a motion from Mr. Burchell. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Pam seconds. Any discussion?
Is it, I was not aware when you asked if we could go through these together, that you would be asking for us to approve all of the people with one vote. I'm sorry. Misunderstood.
Sure.
So I'm in a quandary because I don't want to.
Let me help you. You could ask to separate out, just like you would on a consent agenda. Just ask for
Sure.
any one of these positions to be removed.
I would like to separate out the park board, please.
Okay. We'll vote on the park board separately. So that leaves the appointments to the Plan Commission and the Boarding Zone of Appeals, those individuals. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are confirmed. Park Board, let's go back now. I'd like to nominate Paul Rademacher to serve as a citizen on the Park Board. Is there a motion to confirm Paul for the Park Board?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion to appoint Paul Rademacher to the Park Board.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call the question. All in favor of the appointment of Paul Rademacher to the Park Board, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
4-1. Paul Rademacher is confirmed to his appointment to the Park Board. Moving on, I believe that takes us to Community Access Board, one citizen for a 3-year term. Elizabeth McCormick has been serving on the board, and I'd like to reappoint Elizabeth to another 3-year term. I don't believe these require any more confirmation here. We did all the confirmation votes. It's more just an announcement. So that takes care of her. Police and Fire Commission. The Police and Fire Commission has had some work to do recently. They'll have some more work to do. They've been working on promotions. I hope to be strengthening the police department and working closely with Chief Jensen. And so it's essential that we have a strong representation, and we've had that. We've got the chairman, Tom O'Connell, is here tonight. And I'd just like to say thank you for all the hard work that the commission's been doing. We're going to continue to put you to work. And I think tonight I'm announcing a very strong addition to the Police and Fire Commission. I'm excited about it. This is an individual that I think of all the citizens residing in the city of Hudson probably has about the most police background that we could bring to the Police and Fire Commission at this point, and that's Bob Stabell. Bob served for 30 years on the police force, came up through the ranks, served as in every position except chief, I believe, and probably served as acting chief when the chief was absent because he was the highest ranking officer. He's got a lot of background working with the promotions boards and hiring of other neighboring municipalities. And so I ask for, actually on this one I don't need a vote, but I hope you support that. I'm excited about that, and I think Bob brings a lot to the Police and Fire Commission. For the Intergovernmental Advisory Council, number 16, we've rotated that. I'd like to ask that we have the president of the council, whoever is elected, the president of the council, and the mayor serve regularly there for continuity. I think there are some things coming up that we'll be working with jointly with our neighboring municipalities that really require us to have continuity so we have the same faces there each time, at least for a while. So I'm going to ask that whoever the president of the council is serves regularly on that Intergovernmental Advisory Council. And this is where we meet with representatives from the school district and from the towns and the village and so on. Advisory Joint Fire Board is next, and I'm appointing Peter Post to the Advisory Joint Fire Board. And then lastly, item number 18, excited to have tonight and make a little bit of a change, but Mayor Bro is back here, and what we're doing here is I asked Jack to stay on the board of directors of the business park. He has served since the inception of the St. Croix Business Park, done a good job. The bylaws of the business park call for one appointment from the city by the mayor and to serve until replaced by the mayor. And one appointment is made by, I don't know, Jack, is it XL? It's always been XL. I think it's XL Energy. Makes one appointment. The third member to be chosen or agreed to by those two members jointly. So they sort of appoint their own third member. So our representative, I don't think we could do better than to have Jack do there. I'm happy that he agreed to do it. And he's done a fantastic job in putting that business park together and filling it up and bringing an enormous amount of tax base to the city. And so I thank you for all your years of service, Jack, and this one in particular in the business park, but for all that you've done to the city. I just like to applaud you and commend you and thank you for your service. Finally, I've got a number of initiatives that I'm going to be bringing to you, and I look forward to working with you in strengthening the police department. That's a priority of mine. I've talked with people during the campaign, and there are a couple of specific things that I'm going to bring. One is that I'm directing that we increase the casual call officer numbers so that we maintain a roster of casual call officers that's always between 6 and 10. And I've directed the chief that on his discretion and judgment, he can decide. Over the years, we've had anywhere from 0 to 15. Most recently, there have been in the range of 3 to 6. This has been where most of the new hires come from. And recently, for various reasons, that our casual call list has gone down to only 2 or 3. And so we're going to make it a policy that we try to keep that at a certain level, between 6 and 10. And I've also asked the chief to develop written criteria to be used in the selection and hiring of the casual call officers and to work with the police and fire commission on that. And that they won't work more than 599 hours a year. This has been the policy. And then we're going to establish some training minimums. And so I've got this in a written directive to the police chief that I'll be giving him, and we'll have copies for you. In the same regard, I've looked at the budget. There is some money that will be a carryover from the 2007 budget that was originally for police use. There is also some other carryover money, and we'll be hearing more about that, but there are 2 initiatives that I'm going to ask for immediate consideration and ask that they be on the Finance Committee agenda. One is the hiring of a new patrol officer position, establishing a new position and filling the position, and to do that right away, I'd like to see that position up and filled by June 1st, and I think we can do that. The second is to improve the technology and equipment of the police department, and we'll be bringing something to the Finance Committee at our first meeting next Monday on that, to make our officers more effective, more efficient. We're not only going to have more patrol time, but we're going to have better patrol time. I'd like to see us do that and consider that, and you'll hear more about that over the next week. With that, that's concludes our business tonight, unless the council has anything else, any communications from any of you. It's not really on the agenda, but you can.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned.